We are especially in the hospitality, hotel business, and our retail mall. Again, I think for businesses and especially for Hong Kong, we are looking forward, to better 2021. It is still going to be a challenging year, I think, but I think we are now more prepared to face the challenges in our community, and hopefully the COVID-19 also is going to pass soon. But I don't think we should all be very complacent that we can actually recover to the pre-COVID-19 condition in the 2018 and so on. I think despite we are optimistic about the coming business, it's not going to be the same. But also, I think in terms of prices, there are always opportunities. For example, for our group, we were fortunate that before the COVID, we are already into a major digital transformation process in our company. So, when we have to implement the work from home and other, preventive protocol, we are ready, so that we have the communication tools, we have the laptop and so on, enable our office and our business to continue operation. And again, on this point, I think, in terms of recovery, the impact of technology is going to play a major role. And the COVID actually has accelerated, I think, that part of adopting technology, realizing, our consumer behavior have changed in terms of how they use technology. E-commerce is going to continue to be a growing area. Cybersecurity is going to grow and grow as we all, become more, familiar and use digitalization in all our business processes. So I think there are new markets that we can enter into, and that involve technology, that involve finding the needs of the market after COVID. I think, for example, the work from home, we can see that the buyers of our residential properties, now they are much more concerned about, how the residential units could actually facilitate and help with a more healthy living. So they have to care about more sunshine, cross ventilation, green space, and so on, which present an opportunity for us.
Yeah, thank you, Donald. Yeah, of course, under the COVID-19 situation, we still have something new or some new opportunities that we can do. On this part, I would like to pass to Albert. I understand that actually your venture capital invest in companies in different industries, including the technology that Donald mentioned is very important nowadays to deal with the COVID-19 situation, and also the healthcare or different AI technology business. So how do you see that these businesses, how they deal with the COVID-19 situation, and you share it to us?
Thank you, Cyrus. Csuite Capital actually acquired the ESG focus. We invest in ESG initiatives as well as investment too. Some people say that ESG nowadays is quite a promising investment. On one hand, I can see that ESG companies like a fintech, new energy, or healthcare companies, well, they are quite responsive to changes COVID-19 because of the open mind talents as well as the technology they are applying for. There are also what kind of solutions to COVID-19. I think I'm not going to go into much into our investment in ESG. Rather, I would like to share some of my thoughts over the global economics and how the rest of the world or companies that we add to COVID-19 in developing their recovery plan and strategy. If you look at, well, COVID-19 came quickly and impact the whole industry across different, commercial worlds badly. And taking China's examples, this is the first country that faced and having the challenge from COVID-19. If you look at the report from one of the big four, I'm sorry, Cyrus. Okay. I'm saying one of the big four, right? Okay. About 66% of the CEO in China, they're saying that, well, they cannot provide the service to deal with the clients. And over half of them are not able to perform management at all. And well, it tells us some things, like what Bonnie mentioned about. We have to deal with, well, risk and uncertainty. Well, I think during the last decades, from time to time, when we come across many professional firms talking about talks, we talk about agility, we talk about sustainability, we talk about uncertainties and how to deal with risk. I'm sure most of the CEO here, risk management is one of the top agenda items on the diary. Okay, it's not because of your internal competencies, sometimes more because of the compliance issues that's expected by the regulators. All right. And COVID-19 became a catalyst to that. I still remember that about 10 years ago when I talked about ESG, people did not feel interested at all. They think that it's something good to have, like a CSR. And then, 5 years ago, when the regulators of the world, they imposed regulations, and like a ESG reporting requirements. And then all companies, like these companies, they're forced to place more resources on ESGs. And any one of you do not know what's ESG? I'm sure most of you will know what's ESG. E stands for environment, S stands for society, G stands for governance. And COVID hit all these aspects in different ways, intensively. All right? And COVID-19 in these years, it makes most of the company proactively react to these changes, proactively. All right? In terms of the business model as well as the supply chain management. And talking about supply chain management, again, I have to quote what Bonnie mentioned about change. We have to embrace change. People react quickly to the change. They apply technology like fintech, okay, kind of investment, what we are doing. Even in the property sectors, very traditional business sectors, they are doing smart cities, green projects everywhere, all right? And governance. Well, we have talked about Red Hat, as well as some of the fintech technology nowadays, even blockchain. Well, I think 2 or 3 years ago, people think, well, when they talk about blockchains, they only think about Bitcoin. And now they apply blockchains at global ledgers as a governance to manage the projects or the products. All right? And, well, nowadays, globally, what will we do for the recovery scenarios that apply nowadays? They cover, 5 key areas. One is to prioritize people's health and safety. I'm sure all of you will agree. I'm sure both Don as well as Hoffman prioritize people's health and safety. Our employees are assets. Our customers are clients, our income stream, right? Well, we should never risk their health and safety. The second thing is about liquidity, money things. You see, during the past, 8 months, 6 months, cities locked down, company, okay, people work from home, all right, they cannot perform business, they do not have income. So this regards, we have sufficient liquidities. Working capital is so much important, so I would suggest being part of the key recovery plan, you have to look at your working capitals. The third one, revamp and prioritize your digital transformations. I will not tell you what kind of platform technology use AI or blockchain or whatever. Just revamp technology. The third thing is, I think, again, go back to Ryan mentions. Well, we have to embrace changes. So you have to do some gap analysis, document the gap analysis, find a way to make changes. All right. Well, only changes forever. And I do think COVID-19 is a very, is totally a catalyst for us to make changes. And the fifth one, or the sixth one, is actually my personal view, but I do think most of the CEO will agree. Well, it's a change in the mindset too. A change in mindset, being part of our recovery plan. Well, we have to play a very collaborative role. I think, for most of the companies, they get quick recovery because of the open mindset and play a collaborative role. Well, COVID-19 is a message that tells us that all people are connected. So we have to deal with it, collectively, no matter we want it or not. And COVID-19 to me is a messenger, but this is the only messenger that I will kill. So I hope Cyrus answered your questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think all of us agree that in this uncertain environment, the use of technology and how to change our mindset to adapt this environment and to looking for the new opportunities is very important as the CEO or the managing director here. Can I also move to Hoffman? Because yeah, your company actually has the different business that you mentioned earlier. Of course, in Macau, the COVID-19 situation is better, but gambling industry depends on the people, the visitor, and also you have the travel business in North America as well in different countries. So how do you feel or think about the business strategy of the companies to do after the COVID-19 situation?
Well, I think well, as a company having businesses in a lot of places, the first thing we need to consider is how to adapt. Because while a lot of people compare Macau controlling the virus to Hong Kong, I think it's not fair because well, Macau shut down entirely. And I don't think Hong Kong can risk that, shutting down the stock exchange or even the logistic businesses for 15 days. And it's just not going to work. But well, for Macau, it has gone from the full swing to zero. So opening back to now the Guangdong province, we don't see the visitation bouncing back as a lot of people would have expected. So going down to zero take a lot of effort to really rebuild the tourism, whereas Hong Kong, well, basically never stopped. So we have to take different measures to retain the spread of COVID in order to keep the business going. And it's entirely different. So as a company with exposure in different places, the most important is to adapt. And I think adapt is not the opportunity, is exploring what potentials out there will be most important. I'll give you an example. Our operation in Canada, we were asked to shut down by the government with subsidy. But what we found out was, well, all the airlines are shut down. So what happened to all the tickets that were purchased? So what we did was we went out to the airlines and say, okay, we see a potential problem with all the tickets sold during the period. So we volunteered to handle all the cancellation or booking changes for all these airlines and get a fee for all those changes and cancellation. So we picked up some business during the period for doing that, and well, other than the government subsidy, we kind of survived and even have some profit. At probably the worst industry during the COVID. So I think being a corporate, being in an industry, it's best to participate in creating the pie and knowing that which segment of the pie your company is in. By creating it, it builds a bigger pie, meaning more profit for everyone. But knowing your specific segment really gives you a niche in that industry. And I think that works with all our operation, basically.
Yeah, thank you, Hoffman. I think Hoffman gave us a very good example that how to turn the threat to opportunities. Even though the air ticket is canceling, Hoffman still can find a way to do something for the people or for the countries that is creating an opportunities from the threat. And go back to Donald. You mentioned that for your company, you are also trying to create new opportunities in this situation. Can you give us some more example that you can share to us, and then we can know more about what the other people can do as well?
Sure. For example, how we make use of technology. In our Island South hotel, actually at the very beginning of this year, we started to introduce robots into our hotel service. Again, first of all, we have robots with the right AI that could go up the lift and then go to the room and serve and bring the towels or food to the guests. So first of all, it improves the privacy of the guests. And again, I think during this COVID time, guests actually welcome the less human contact, and they see this as a very good kind of implementation of additional healthcare from us. So we are actually implementing all of this across our hotel in Hong Kong now, and we actually also, through our understanding of the technology, we have also invested into this type of robotic technology through VC. So it is learning what is needed in the market and also investing in the future of the growth. So there are opportunities, and in kind of we are a developer at heart, so we care about our product. As I mentioned, now we are very concerned about how the toilets are being designed. So as you understand, Hong Kong in a while have allowed kind of what we call the dark toilets, no windows, all by mechanical ventilations. But obviously, it is not the best way for healthy living. So now we are developing our products with openable window, with sunlight, ensure cross ventilation, adequate air exchange, and so on. And we have various focus groups and test the market, and it seems that this is going to create additional demands. So those are opportunities. But it may sound a bit cliche. What is good for the society is good for business. But what really keeps me awake at night nowadays is that through the COVID, I think we have made transparent some of the inequality in our society. And as a business person, I always ask myself, are we fulfilling our social contract? Are we, apart from making profit, to ensure we have substantial financial resources to grow and answer to our shareholders? Are we also at the same time creating value for the society and for our community? So for us in Chinachem, we are at a unique position because we do not have any single individual shareholder. We are not controlled by any family, and under the will of our big founder, the wealth that we create will eventually go back to the community and the society for public good. So we do have a unique platform to contribute back to society. So as I lead business going forward, we always ask ourselves, it is not sufficient that we make profits and then contribute back in the future. But in terms of how we are doing the business, are we already making a positive impact in our community? Are we actually helping the community to success? I think that is important, and it's not only in Hong Kong with the social unrest, but if you look at America, black matters and so on, there are so many inequalities, and it is not going to help us as human beings to move forward together. So I think it's something that business has a role to play, not only in terms of ESG, but in really creating shared value for the community.
Yeah, thank you, Donald. I believe this also aligns with what Albert shared to us earlier. the company or the business nowadays not only focus on how much you earn, but what you do to the public and how to maintain the business sustainable is very important. And I think Albert, just Donald also mentioned for the group, for the company, they are using a lot of different technology like robots in the hotel business. I think as an investor or a consultant, I think you will also look at this area as well. Will that COVID-19 situation change the investment target or the focus of your company or from your point of view?
Thank you, Cyrus. Actually, before I became the CEO of Csuite Capital or joining BOA, I came from State Street. State Street is the second largest custodian bank in the world, and the third largest asset management company, which managing about 33.3 trillion of US dollar of global assets. Actually, about 2-3 years ago, they've already, finally looking into the ESG areas and place substantial investment and support. All right. Of course, during COVID-19, we see greater changes. We see financial institutions now increasing significantly or just shifting the investment portfolio to ESGs. And of course, just like what Donald mentioned, these companies, the commercial sectors, they also invest in the ESG areas too. Donald mentioned about robots, right? Well, Csuite Capital, about 2 years ago, we started investing in medical robots, doing the infections as well as the transport robots. While at the same time, I do think Red Cross as well as Housing Society, Housing Society, they are using robots for mobile delivery to try to, on one hand, streamline the supply chains and try to protect the safeties of the employees as well as clients. Donald also mentioned, for the commercial sector, all I can do is, but they're trying to find different ways even for the washroom, the dark toilet, right? Okay, for Donald, this one I can give you the solutions, right? We are investing in LED, saving energy while saying that the UV function. So next time I'll show you some chip solutions. See, Donald mentioned about opportunity, and I find opportunities here in the Asia CEO platform. All right, and when you look at ESG, we human beings are amazing. We are the best kind of creatures that cause the anger of a mother nature. We are very good in destroying and damaging this planet, okay? Creating, air pollution, causing problems and disease to our respiratory systems. We are very good in killing animals. We are very good in polluting our ocean and rivers and spread the germs. All right? And many companies like Hoffman as well as Donald mentioned, they're trying to do good. Right? So not only financial institutions, the commercial side, they're doing very good investments over ESGs. And you may think that, ESGs, all this kind of investment only costs a lot of money. I would like to say no. With this time, I would like to quote a report that I work together with PwC, all right? Because I am also a member of the United Nations Banking and Finance Task Force. We're very focusing on the ESG investments. And in our recent reports, working together with PwC, just released about 2 months ago, as I can recall. Well, for those companies who focus on ESG, they got better or relatively better performance. But in terms of the share price, if you're a listed company, as well as the bottom lines. The performance about like double digits. I forget exact numbers, but I can tell you, it's better off by double digits, around 10% some things. All right. You can tell us that ESG is a trend, and we are riding on the waves.
Yeah, thank you, Albert. Yeah, I'm not doing any advertisement here, but what Albert mentioned is exactly what I'm doing in a recent proposal that I share the finding of the report that Albert mentioned, that how the company focus on the ESG could have a better share price than the normal other companies. Yeah, that's very important. So can I go back to Hoffman? Because of the time, I think this is the last question, then I will pass back to the floor. we talk about a lot of the use of technology and the focus on the sustainability. For your company, can you share with us on the business like traveling, gambling industry, or the entertainment industry that you are looking for? Do you have any similar action or strategy that you would like to move forward after the COVID-19 situation?
I think, well, for us, other than well, building ourselves, the most important is to finding a good partnership, and that's, I think, it's the fastest way to grow. And being creative needs a lot of interaction. I think that's we strongly believe that, and there are things that not necessarily need to be done by us, but can be achieved by our partners, and that can stretch much further with a lot of partnerships out there. And what we tend to find partner with is not investments, is ideas, networks. Well, I'll give a few examples. In North America, we used to be a traditional travel agency with wholesale and retail. Well, 2 years back, we went online, and we built to become one of the largest online fulfillment platform, partnering with Booking.com, Ctrip, and all that. That gives us a lot of big data, and we have also helped enhancing well, their booking engine and some of the airlines' platform around the world, building their exposure in North America. So these are some things that we have done with the travel industry, and such as the Accor Group. Well, they run our Sofitel in Macau, and they have now partnered with Alibaba to build their management system for guest experience. So it's like a one-stop solution across all their hotel brands. That includes the function of booking, check-in, room key, check-out, payment, any ordering, and even trip experience. So I think contributing to a lot of these ideas will not work if we didn't find a right partner. And by doing that, we even introduce other properties in Macau for them to operate. So I think building a stronger network and create synergy is more important than trying to do everything on your own. I think that also works with a company internally, with the management or even with other colleagues. And everyone needs to contribute with ideas, and even having to fight in meetings, and you just need to build a culture in the company that after the meeting, the company can only adapt and adopt to one direction, and everyone feels fine after they leave the conference room. So it's a culture to build within the company and within the culture of partnership with other companies, and I think that's the fastest way to grow.
Yeah, thank you, Hoffman. Yeah, I think that is all of us will agree that if we do it together, collaborate, the result will be much better than doing alone. And that is also, we have to thank Gary to run this platform so we can connect and hear together. Okay, so for the, I will pass the time to the floor and see who has any question that would like to discuss with our panelists or share to us.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It's busier than ever. As it said, it's not the CFO, CEO, the CEO who brought about digital transformation. It was COVID. That's the joke that's going around. But we all know that mindset is the most important piece. There is technology always available, digital. I'm not sure about the experience within your organization, but why do you think mindset is not working out. I mean, a lot of digital transformation projects fail for various reasons. There doesn't seem to, so mindset seems